Hi there, this is Steve Spurrier. You can join University of Florida Hall of Famer Shane Matthews and also the two-time SEC Player of the Year every weekday as he brings you all you need to know about the Florida Gators, including news, analysis, opinions, and some of the biggest names in sports. You can find him on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. Or you can watch him live at 8 a.m. on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter.
Good morning. We've made it. It is Friday. It is PodUp with Matthews in the morning, coming to you from the International Diamond Center Studios, locations across the state of Florida, right there in Celebration Point in the heart of Gator Nation. If you're coming to the baseball game, go buy you a nice watch before you go at International Diamond Center. Gator baseball today at 1 o'clock.
Oh, yeah.
Against Ryder. And then men's golf cranks up today out in California late this afternoon. It all starts there. Missed it last night. We go to a game 7 tomorrow in OKC. Two really good basketball teams. JC, did you watch any of the basketball?
No, I watched softball yesterday.
Yeah.
Basketball bores me when the games are blowouts, and I just think the NBA playoffs this year as a whole has been somewhat dull. There have been some great games, yes.
That's what happens when you play a 7-game series. You're going to have blowouts.
Well, it seems like every series is having that, and I hear you there, but I just don't really get much interest in watching somebody quit. The Knicks have made the Sixers quit, the Hawks quit, and the Cavaliers quit. That's great for Knicks fans, and I'm on the Knicks. Believe me, I think they can win this whole thing. But QB, why is that fun to watch? I don't think it's fun to watch. I don't think it's fun.
I just watched a little bit of it. I watched softball as well. I told you,
Yeah.
if I said it on the program, I told you Texas Tech would destroy Mississippi State. Mississippi State's a great story. I don't know how in the world. I think what they did to Oklahoma is the greatest upset in college softball history.
Yeah.
It would not surprise me at all if Texas Tech doesn't win at all.
Yeah, no, they really are hitting the softball, man. I mean, they are hitting the softball. But I saw a pitcher yesterday for the University of Tennessee who is as legit as it comes. And so, Tennessee wins yesterday and beats Texas. Texas is a highly rated team. I still think they can win. But I was impressed with what I saw from Tennessee's pitcher. I think
she's not their main pitcher.
That's scary. That is absolutely scary. If your main pitcher isn't throwing in the first game of the College World Series, then that means you are loaded, and they are loaded. So Tennessee is coming out of nowhere, and we really haven't talked much about them. We haven't really talked much about any college softball team for that matter. But I do think Alabama is live in this thing.
They have the pitcher of the year. You know that, right?
SEC pitcher of the year or the national pitcher of the year?
I don't think they've named the national. She's the SEC.
SEC. Well, okay, that's fine. But that Tennessee gal can sling it about 75. So the way I look at it is you've got these teams that are so close matchup wise that it just comes down to simply who's going to get the timely hit, which pitcher is going to get the timely strikeout, who's going to be able to last if these games go extra innings like the Nebraska game last night with Arkansas, who's going to be able to survive. That's what this, I think, is really all about. It's survival. Now, yes, you're right. There are some teams that on paper, or actually not on paper, but on the field probably don't have the material to hang with the other team. Texas Tech showed that yesterday. But it's a great story for Mississippi State. Who knows? Maybe they win today. But it is important to get to the winner's bracket. Same thing with baseball. You have to get to the winner's bracket, or coming out of the loser's bracket is very hard, and very few teams do it. I think Oklahoma did it a couple years ago, but not often do you come out of the loser's bracket to win this.
Yeah, Gator baseball. We'll talk a lot with Edgar about baseball cranking up today, too. We'll get his thoughts. He was at SEC media days, not media days, but SEC meetings in Destin all week. They all got back yesterday, I believe. Baseball, we are starting our number 3 pitcher, Sandifer.
Yeah.
I think it's great. Look, if we can't beat the Ryder Bronx with our third pitcher, we have problems. And JC, here's something I read.
That's right.
Ryder's 3 best players are already in the portal.
Yeah. I mean, it's a fun trip for them to come to Florida. Welcome to the Sunshine State. You might get a little rain, but enjoy your short stay. And that's fine. I mean, I think it's absolutely the right move. You don't want to burn Aiden King out or Liam Peterson on a game like this. I think You want to win this, obviously, you save them for the next game. But I think Sanford's more than capable of taking care of business against this team. Absolutely is. This is a midweek kind of game, right? It's important. The season's on the line, but this is a team that you see on Tuesday night, QB.
Yeah. Couple of Facebook Lives here. I have to pull it up on my phone. I still haven't figured out why this thing does not scroll on my show. John wants to know, do we have the money regarding basketball? He said we're already paying over 20 million for this year's roster. Yeah, it's over 20 million. I guess they're talking about Milan Momcilovic, who he just withdrew from the NBA draft. Supposedly, I think it's Duke, Arkansas, and Arizona are in the mix. I would love to have him because I still don't think we have a great shooter, but I don't think we're going to get him.
Well, you just never know what Todd's able to. You never know. He may wave his magic wand.
Todd may just have to make a call to somebody and say, "Hey, I need $4 million."
There he is. The guy's
Maybe
name
call
on
you, JC.
The guy's name on the baseball stadium might help. But he sits behind the bench. But hey, anything's possible, right? And Florida is going to be loaded next year, probably a preseason 1, 2, or 3 type team, and they're gonna have a great year. But that's so far off into the future now. I'm not even thinking about that. I'm thinking about the baseball right now, and I really enjoy the college softball World Series. I know Florida's not in it, but man, you gotta love watching that stuff. I watched that instead of basketball.
It's one of the best sporting events. If you've never been, you need to go.
Well, if you just and if you like competing, if you're a competitor, if you like seeing teams go after each other and don't do it for the money and not worried about getting blown out and quitting, this is good stuff to watch. I love watching that, man. It's fun.
Yeah. AU Gator says here on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing, notice that Mia Williams was hit in yesterday's game, which is a testament to what you all have been talking about, how she crowds the plate. So not intentional. No. Until people watch softball and understand scouting reports, tendencies. I mean, she was hit like 20 or 20 something times as a Gator last year thing. So it's over with. It's who cares? Good luck to them. Did you know that gold and silver have outperformed the S&P 500 over the last 25 years? Money Metals specializes in helping first-time investors. Plus, they're owned by 2 Gator grads, Mike and Stefan Gleason. To learn more, visit moneymetals.com. JC, I saved this text that came in yesterday or the day before from John.
Okay.
It's the amount of money, supposedly, again, he must have got this off Twitter or some internet site. Can't believe everything we read, but it's the amount of money that is supposedly being paid for football rosters. I'm going to read them. He's got like probably the top 25 or so here. Let me see how many there is. There's real quick 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay. It's about 25 of them. The Gators are 18th with 30 million. Number 1 is Texas at 48 million, Miami at 44, LSU at 44, so on and so on. But what's interesting is he also got the NIL valuations of the players. Who do you think and this just blows my mind. And I don't know where they come up with this, but there is no way in hell I would pay this guy this much money. Who do you think the highest paid or NIL valuation is in college football?
Well, I thought it was that kid that was going to go to Texas Tech, but he's in trouble now, so it's not him.
No.
All right, well,
I'm going to save you. Darian Mensah is reported to be being paid $10 million. Now, I don't know how many years that is. So just listen to this. Dante Moore at Oregon, $7.5 million.
That guy can't throw a forward pass.
I know Arch Manning at 6.8. I know Arch does a lot of commercials. So Sam Levitt is 6 million. Trinidad, 6 million.
Wow.
Thorsby is at 6 million. So listen to this. Lenore Sellers is 3 million at South Carolina.
You can't throw a forward pass.
I just don't understand this. It blows my mind. But
well, QB, it's about, if you can find someone dumb enough, then they'll give you the money. Then you what are you going to do? You're going to take it. So good for them. They can sell something that convinces somebody to write a check. You just mentioned Miami up there in the top, 3, 4. This is a school with what, 5,000, 8,000 students on campus. It's a private institution, and yet here's a booster sitting down there in Miami with nothing but money falling out of his pockets, and so he's going to throw it at a football player. I guess that's what some folks with money that they just can't spend fast enough do with it. I just don't.
guess.
I don't understand it either, QB. It's not what I would say prudent money management or investing. Your return on investment is very questionable. Who knows what your ROI is? What is it? When you spend that kind of money, you have to have something in your calculation that explains what your ROI is. Nobody has answered that question for me. What do you get out of giving DJ Lagway, who sucks, all this money? What do you get back? Oh, you get a lot of smiling faces, a lot of handshakes. You get to go here and you get to go there in the stadium. But what do you really get for that expenditure? And nobody has ever told me that. Nobody's done a story on it. I don't know where the investigative journalism is these days. It really doesn't exist. You pretty much just cover a beat and you move on. So I don't know. This is not really something I spend a whole lot of time thinking about because it's the market right now. So I whatever.
John says on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mel, the website's called the NIL Standard. So I guess you can get all the information there.
I'm sure they sell advertising. I'm sure he sells advertising for that website. That's great. What, you need clicks for that? I mean, what do you need?
Who?
The guy who's this website the NIL Standard you're talking about. What the hell is that?
I don't know. John told me that's where that information came from.
Yeah, I mean, it might be good information. I suppose it is. I don't know what their sources are. I don't know how they get it. I don't know where where the return on investment is for these people throwing the money. I have no idea what this is really, how this works. But here's the fact. If I had it, it wouldn't go to this.
No.
It would not go to this.
No.
I've got so many better things I could spend it on to help people or to help myself. This is a waste. We're talking about teenagers you don't even know, and you're throwing money at.
And I'm telling you right now, majority of them, this is the most money they'll ever make because they're not going to make it professionally.
There you go.
Milan Milinovic, I just butchered his name, is projected to go to Kentucky, supposedly. All right. So,
He ought to call,
we got a lot coming in here, JC.
Maybe he ought to call that kid Denzel Aberdeen before he does that.
He's way better than Denzel Aberdeen.
That's true, but is leaving Kentucky. So,
because I think he's probably being forced out. He's coming back here. It doesn't matter. I would much rather have Milan.
Yeah, he's a shooter, man.
Andy wants to know who do I think will have a better stats, Arch Manning or Trinidad Chambliss? Probably Chambliss because I think they'll throw it more. Chris says here on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mel, Shane don't have anything against Manning at Texas, and I love his arm, but based on what he's done on the field so far, if you were an NFL GM, would you draft him number 1 in the draft or top 5? Absolutely, I would. I think he's outstanding. He is athletic as hell, like his granddad.
Yeah.
He throws the ball really well. People look at the first 3 or 4 or 5 games he played last year. The last half of the season, he was as good as anybody in America.
Yeah.
I think he's really good.
Well, some folks have him in their top pick for Heisman. So,
he was talking about the draft. I would definitely. He's better than any other quarterback in the draft or in college football, to me.
I can't argue with that. Barone 71, my man. QB and JC, if Florida was in the ACC, and this is a hypothetical for you, QB. Let's hear a hypothetical answer. If Florida was in the ACC and had the pathetic schedule Miami and Florida State do, how many more wins on average would you say Florida would have per year, and how many playoffs would you think they'd have made of? Well, A, none, and not many because of the coach who was here, because you just can't fix things that are structurally bad. And so I don't know the answer to that, but I do know Miami beat Florida. And I do know that, so maybe the schedule is a little weaker in the ACC, but Miami did what they had to do to get to that championship game, and that was win on the road, and that was pretty impressive. And I don't think their weak schedule hurt them at all.
Obviously, both those team schedules are much easier.
It was.
I mean, we probably have a few more wins, I would guess. But
so Florida goes to 9 games this year in the SEC. Is that right? I think that's correct. So 6 home games, 9 SEC games. And then one of the things that came out of the meetings that I guess Edgar may mention, he may not, but I'll go ahead and tease it now, is that they're going to, after this year, do away with those November FCS games. So that's going to fit in the 9 games more comfortably for the teams in this conference. And I think the 9 game was the right move.
Miapa Latin Cafe, proud to support Gator Nation for 23 years. Best Latin food north of Miami. Check out one of their 5 locations today. All right. Ryan says people sleep on Arch's athleticism and running ability. He could run for 500 or 600 yards next season easy. Yeah, he's extremely fast. He's powerful. He's like 235. I mean, he's a good football player. People don't like him for whatever reason because of the hype, I think.
Yeah.
But I think he's very, very good.
He had a very poor offensive line, and he survived it somehow.
I'm telling you right now, those first 4 or 5 games, because he played poor very badly at Ohio State. He came here, didn't play great. He made some throws, though. He made some plays, but I still today, to this point, I haven't seen many offensive line play as bad as Texas was in the swamp.
I know.
I was like,
shocked
how are you ever going to win a game?
Shocked me. It was shocking. Absolutely shocking. There's always one game during the year you just can't figure out how it happened. That Texas-Florida game is one of them. But, Texas, he had trouble with Sam Houston State. And he got better as the year went on because I guess his protection got better and things got better for Texas. But my God, you would have thought you'd see better football from them. Barone says that Barone still he wants to know how teams like Texas Tech, Indiana, and Texas A&M become contenders when they can legally pay players. And then you see programs like Oregon, Ohio State, Georgia, who also pony up. I think he wants Florida to pony up. But I think Florida's
here's what I tell people. The only way you can pony up is if anyone's willing to give a lot of money.
That's right. There you go. Yeah.
We have people complain about it, and we have major donors that are doing their part. But I don't know what the average fan needs to give to help that. I have no idea.
You're asking a lot from the average fan when you see ticket price. So I was talking to a bull Gator and a booster who's up on the 7th floor, and he was just complaining about, no, I'm really complaining, but he was just shaking his head as to why everything's gone up 23%.
A lot of that goes to Florida Victorious for the athletes.
Right, it does. And I try to tell him that. I said, dude, if you want to win, it's going to just cost you more. It's just the way the world works today. You can't necessarily out recruit people anymore. You got to outpay them. So, I mean, 23% is a lot to ask for when the performance has been subpar. I totally understand. You pay for performance. I think this is the last train to come to the station. The Summerall Express is here. This is it. It has to work, or else you're going to see a collapse in financial backing with this program if he doesn't work out. I think he's going to work out, so I'm not worried about that. And I think they're going to give him the time he might need. But really, in today's world, you don't need a lot of time. We saw that at Indiana. We saw that at other programs, James Madison, year in and year out. So I think expectations should be high, and I think it starts off with winning 8 games this year. If you get that, you're on the way. But if you don't,
JB on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mel Law, says, which wide receiver gets the most yards this year for the Gators? I will say Eric Singleton.
Yeah, I
think he's our best player.
He's your favorite player. Yeah.
He's not my favorite. I think he's the best.
Well, that's what I meant. That's what I meant. Yeah. And he probably is, and he's sitting there thinking to himself, damn, I wasted 2 years at Auburn or however long he was there.
Only 1 year.
Okay, I wasted time at Auburn. And I got a new lease on life now. And I've got an offensive coordinator who's going to get me the damn ball.
Well, that offensive coordinator gave him the damn ball a lot at Georgia Tech.
There you go.
A lot. Rick says on the Tiger text line, would you rather get 2 more wins but lose to the semis in Georgia, or 2 less wins and beat Georgia in the semis?
Great question. How about
beat them and get more wins?
Yeah, how about that? Yeah. I think they've had Florida State's number. They can beat Florida State. It's the Georgia rivalry that's hurting right now. There's no question about that. And it is true that sometimes your best rival sometimes has the upper hand. It takes a while to get back into it, but it'll change. It will change. That rivalry is one of the greatest of all time.
I'm a big Kirby guy. I know people don't like to hear that, but I think Kirby's done what Steve Spurrier did here at the University of Florida.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you saw his interview in Destin, JC.
I did.
He was talking about what are we doing in college athletics? He goes,
what are we doing?
He goes, it's important for our university and other universities to have spring sports, Olympic sports. It's important for John Cornell to go to a class and sit down next to an Olympic swimmer. That's going to be gone here pretty soon if we don't get this thing under control.
I agree. There is legislation written by Ted Cruz and another senator to try to get some stability in this. I'd highly recommend people Google it. I don't have the details because I just didn't want to read it because I read so much during the day. But I think there is conversation now on the congressional level, which is hard to believe given the state of things. But we may see something start shaking out. I think they have to decide, first of all, structurally, how do they want to do the playoffs? Do they want to keep it at 12? Do they want to go to 16? Do they want to go to 24? Figure out that. Get these conferences aligned right, because I think the Pac-12 is now back in some sort of form or fashion. So some things like that have to happen. But as far as the imbalance of how these players are being compensated and how out of control it seems to be with the tampering, that's the biggest problem I have with the whole thing, QB, is the tampering. You call up a kid whose season isn't over at another school and you try to convince him to come to your school while he's still playing over there, just like what Lane Kiffin did to Ole Miss. That was pure tampering from LSU. But that's how it is right now. And I that's hard. In the NFL, you can't mess with people until the season's over. And there are contracts that matter. In college football, it's the wild, wild west. It's ridiculous.
Johnny on the Tatum our text line says, I love it when y'all talk college golf. How can we follow the Gators today? The only way you can follow them, because it won't come on TV, I don't think, until Saturday or Sunday. You can go on Twitter to the Gators golf Twitter site. If you scroll down, they'll post some stuff from today, and then they'll have this deal that you just click it and it'll show all the scores of what's going on out there. That's how you follow them. I didn't probably explain that very well, but it's self-explanatory once you get on there. This thing is sports brought to you by Campus USA Credit Union. Put some star power to work in your financial life at Campus USA Credit Union. We're proud member Stephen Orr Spurrier Banks. 1987, and I don't know if this record's been broken or not. I'm sure somebody knows or will look it up. Robin Ventura set college baseball record with a 57 game hitting streak.
You know who he played for?
That dude, he used to wear a mustache. They had the tricolored hats.
Yeah.
At Okie State.
That's it.
Oh, I know, but I thought you asked me who he played for. I thought you meant like the coach.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
No, I knew exactly who he played for. Okie State. They said they had the bat underneath it. Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
Jerseys. The colored Tim Walton hats.
That's right. the old Baltimore Orioles. Yeah. Man. That's so we got.
Anybody broken that, JC? You think?
No. I mean, no.
That's crazy.
Nobody's going to beat Pete Rose's record either. I don't think in Major League Baseball. They don't last long enough. These players these days. They don't play full seasons. Let's see. There's a lot coming through YouTube right now, but so Tony says TV starts Monday late afternoon for college golf.
Okay, it is, because the Golf Channel is going to carry the PGA event. So it is money. So they want. Let's see, it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I guess they I don't know if they cover any of the individual stuff. Tony would know this. He knows this kind of stuff.
Yes,
anyway, follow it on Twitter. That's the best way to do it.
The great Michael Schneider, we were right there with Georgia with an assistant coach. We just need better coaching, and now we hopefully have that. He also says Singleton would have been wasted here the last 2 years. So and the good news is that we don't have to think about that anymore. We look forward. and things are going to be much, much better. They can't get worse.
Uh,
So, yeah.
Dan says on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mel Law, Jeremiah Smith may sit out this season for Ohio State. That's crazy. All right.
Isn't that crazy?
Our Peachland Dental picks, JC. I think we got some pretty good golfers going
Yeah,
right now.
we
JJ
do.
Spawn, I think, is tied for the lead. You picked him. You had Brian Harmon, who I think is a couple of shots back.
That's right.
Dickey's playing well.
You got Oberg.
I have Oberg and Russell Henley and Tom Hoagie who's playing well. Sanjay
Yeah.
did this week, and Keith Mitchell didn't show up either so far. Still a lot of golf to be played, but again, they thought this course was going to be hard because it's tight, short. They just destroying it.
Well, two things that A, no wind. There's usually wind at Fort Worth. B, it's rain. It's so soft. They are just landing the ball wherever they want to. And that's what happens when there's no wind and there's rain. They just eat it alive. So I still going to watch it. I still think it's going to be more competitive than what we saw. Well, I should say I think the scores are going to be more reasonable than what we saw last week. Of course, I don't know how it can get any more unreasonable. But yeah, I think we're pretty much on top of it. Yesterday on the show, I also threw Alex Smalley in there, and I think he's really playing great, consistent golf. And I think I mentioned something about Gary Woodland. I may not have, but I did like him in this setup. So, Matsuyama. I looked at Hideki. I took Hideki yesterday too, and he's only 2 strokes off the pace. So,
All right, so JC, real quick before we get you out of here, do you have any upsets in any of these regionals in college baseball this week?
well, what I really like is in the Lincoln, Nebraska regional. I like Mississippi. I know they're going to play Arizona State in that first game. They win that. I think they're better than Nebraska. I just don't know why I think that. But I also like the Oregon Ducks as an 11 seed to get through Eugene and to go to Texas and beat the Longhorns. I think the Oregon Ducks are live to get to the big show. And I think Arkansas, who is in the Lawrence, Kansas region, against the Jayhawks, I think Arkansas could absolutely win that. And I really feel bad for Mississippi State because even though they're playing at home and they're probably going to win their regional, their reward for winning their regional will be a trip to Georgia to get beat 2 more times. So that's not working out well for Mississippi State, who's a 14 seed. I would have thought they'd been higher. But I love the Gators, and the reason why I love Florida is the pitching, but the way they've hit the ball. But you're giving me 22-1 odds right now on Florida to win the College World Series, and you're giving me plus odds for them to make the College World Series. Florida, look, Jensen Lewis, who was a relief pitcher for the Cleveland Indians and who does the show on the Vegas Stats and Information Network every morning, said he's got Florida at 45-1. And this is when they were slumping before the Kentucky series because he saw how good the pitching was. All he said they needed to do was start hitting the ball. Well, they have begun to hit the ball, and what happened was Kentucky and LSU came. And when Kentucky and LSU come, your confidence levels go shooting straight up because they're not good teams, and they don't have good pitching, and your hitting comes around. So Florida's hitting came around, and with those pitchers that Jensen Lewis, who is very capable of telling you what a good pitcher is, starts throwing the way they did in the SEC tournament, then you've got a real great shot. And to get 22-1, even right now, to me, as an 8 seed, is a steal. So who's the best hitting team? Probably Georgia Tech, who's maybe the second best hitting team, maybe the school in Athens. But that doesn't mean they're going to win it. I think Auburn is live. I think UCLA is UCLA. They won the Big Ten, though. They didn't win the SEC. So there's a big difference there. And I think Oregon, as a lower-seeded team, is live. And I think Arkansas will win at Kansas. That's what I think.
Greg, before we get out of here on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mel Law, the Rider players in the portal are not playing today. Yes, they're playing, but they're in the portal.
That's so funny. That's so funny. We're renting these guys for one last weekend, or maybe 2, but probably 1. And then
their final few games as a Bronc.
Hey, real quick, before we get to it, Game 7 in the basketball will be here before I come back on Monday. And Oklahoma City and San Antonio are playing. But did you know that the Knicks in the last 10 games have a 246-point differential, which is the best in NBA history?
JC,
and they've won every game against Cleveland by double digits. Go ahead.
I said this the other day, and I don't know who I said it to. I said I watch the playoffs, not all I probably usually watch a quarter or two. But in all my years of watching the NBA, I have never seen a team shoot the ball even better than the Warriors in their heyday,
Yeah.
better than the New York Knicks have this postseason.
They make
They're
a lot of
incredible.
baskets. They make a lot of baskets. And Cleveland had them down 22 points in game one, and then they woke up. So they're going to get another big layoff before they play OKC or San Antonio, but everybody's big on the Western Conference winner to win it all. I'm not so sure. I think New York is absolutely live to win this.
Yeah. All right, that's JC. Join
All
us
right,
on the
man.
Titan Number Hotline. Have a good weekend. We'll recap it all on Monday.
You got it.
We're going to take a quick time out, come back. We'll have Edgar Thompson get his thoughts on what happened up in Destin. You're watching and listening to PodUp with Matthews in the morning from the International Diamond Center Studios. We'll be right back.
Our premium sponsors are Atlantic Roofing, Campus USA Credit Union, International Diamond Center, J.F. Hayden's Craft Liqueurs, Los Landeros Tequila, Meldon Law, Titan MRI and Imaging, Castaway Sauce, UF Health Orthopedics, Michael Schneider PLLC, Florida Legends Gala and Experience, Money Metals, Sensei Asian Bistro. Our gridiron sponsors are Baker Sports, Florida Cracker Oyster, Gallo Car Wash, Miapa Latin Cafe, Peachland Dental, Quality Plumbing, Ruse Ogre State Farm, Silverback Concrete, 84 Lumber, Big Mills Cheesesteaks, Celebrate Primary Care, Gator Bait Media, Florida Cracker Kitchen, Gator Dominoes, Ironwood Golf Course, McDonald's of Gainesville, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, UF Bookstores, International Gold and Diamond, Advocare, and MGA&A Wealth. Watch and listen to us live on Facebook or YouTube. Listen to podcasts wherever, on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Remember to like, follow, and subscribe so you don't miss an episode. And to advertise, be sure to call my man Freddie at 352-284-3733.
Hi there, this is Coach Steve Spurrier, and I want to let you know that by popular demand, Spurrier's Gridiron Grill's delicious brunch is now served in a premium buffet. You have spoken, we have listened, and we're now serving Gainesville's only elevated buffet, complete with an omelet station, ginger sage chicken sausage, shredded short rib, plus you can enjoy bottomless mimosas and Bloody Marys. So join us every Saturday and Sunday from 11 to 3 for the best brunch in town.
The jewelry store with the most likes, the most positive reviews, the most raving fans is International Diamond Center.
IDC is definitely a place that I will come to as long as I live here. This will be my go-to place always.
Literally the best jewelry store in town. You'll make friends for life coming in here. I felt like family from the beginning. The value was extraordinary.
I've got a beautiful diamond on my finger and I'm very proud of it.
International Diamond Center.
I'm very happy to show it off.
At Celebration Point and online at shopidc.com.
Naysayers, setbacks, injuries. Life throws a lot of hurdles your way. The key is just keep jumping them.
Gainesville's best-kept secret is finally being revealed. Introducing Sensei Asian Bistro. Located in Celebration Point next to Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, Sensei delivers a one-of-a-kind Japanese-French fusion experience that's as refined as it is unforgettable. Indulge in signature dishes like our smoked New York strip, Chilean sea bass, matcha curry, or the crave-worthy chunggang chili chicken. Pair it all with handcrafted cocktails, fresh crudo oysters, or our premium A5 Wagyu tataki. Sensei Asian Bistro. Make your reservation today.
Welcome back to the International Diamond Center Studios. Florida Cracker Oyster Bar and Grill is the ultimate spot for seafood and more. No matter the occasion, they're ready to welcome you Florida Cracker style. Check them out over in Keystone Heights. Back to the Titan More Hotline. Edgar Thompson's been hanging out in his Speedo on the beach in Destin in between meetings. What's up, Edgar? How was the trip, my man?
How'd you know I had a lime green thong I wear when I'm out at the beach?
Oh, boy.
Hey, so I love, man, you need to show me how to do a background, dude. That's great.
Yeah, that's where we're going to be playing ball today. before we get into the SEC Media Days,
Sure.
were you surprised at Sully's decision of who was starting on the mound?
So is it Sandifer?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just pulled him up because I really am not like the in the weeds on baseball guy.
Right.
I do look, I respect the heck out of the sport. I'm a little more into softball. I like the pace of it a little bit more. And I don't even mean like the game ends. Those games aren't as short as they used to be because there's a lot more hitting now. But which I like. I mean, and the softball was great. They got a lot to live up to for last weekend series, but that also was a super regional. And the super regional I really enjoy. The regional is not my favorite event only because of two factors. The double elimination.
And right.
So if the Gators stub their toe, I mean, it can go on forever. And the other thing is the rain.
Yeah.
But it looks like the weather report is good today. So I was pumped because I'm going to be out there all 3 days. But in terms of being surprised, yeah, I know he hasn't. I mean, he's saving King for tomorrow night.
He should. If we can't beat Ryder, he
Yeah,
don't need to be in the tournament. That's the way I look at it.
That's you nailed it.
All right,
Nothing more to say about
big
that.
week up in Destin. I know you wrote an article on Coach Summerall. Tell us about that and what you took out of the meetings there.
My head was spinning. What I take is that I don't know what's going on in college sports in comparison to the national people there. I even said to Sankey, I saw him early Wednesday morning. I got a chance to sit down with Coach Summerall at 7 a.m., who'd already been on a run and was showered. And I mean, this guy's an animal. I'm like, what time you get up? He goes, 4:30. He goes, I slept into 5 today. It's like, these guys are just type A alphas. I'm not getting up at 4:30 for anything, unless it's like an international flight to go like play golf somewhere,
Right.
but or go to Hawaii. But he's yeah, he's no, so I said to Sankey, I said, Greg, I just don't bother asking you questions just because it's just stuff's over my head. He goes, I kind of appreciate that because you're trying to probe on all these complicated, wonkish legislative issues, which has now been supercharged with this Cantwell-Cruz bipartisan bill. It's 111 pages. So, I mean, this is where we're at in college sports is you need a 111 page bill coming from Congress to try to rein in the cost, the player movement, the everyone finding loopholes to bust the cap so to pay and more and more and more. So they're trying to get some and trying to level the playing field too, which is the SEC doesn't want that. The Big Ten doesn't really want that, right? They don't want to share their TV rights and revenues. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so they're trying to get a handle in Congress and all this. I think Congress has a lot on its plate. That's, gas was $3.99 yesterday. I bought in Defuniak Springs. So I was like, ooh, it's coming down. I pull back in Gainesville. I need gas. It's 4:30 here. So, I mean, there are issues Congress needs to get a handle on beyond college sports, but we know it's kind of gone off the rails with the NIL and the spending and just the gap that's grown among the 138 teams playing college football. But so there were a lot of issues like that, but it was SEC focused. And Sankey, the big issue is the expansion of the playoff, the one everyone can really kind of understand quickly and get their minds around, myself included. And that's the one where people are like, should you go from 4 to 12 and then within 2 years already go to 24? And they're only like in the first year or whatever, like a 6-year deal on that or whatever it is. They're early in a contract on 12 that they're already trying to like push for 24 because they want access and they also want revenue. And everything's about money now, right? I asked Kellen DeBoer, coming from D3, where he was just a huge success, And then he obviously went to Fresno, to Washington, and now Alabama. And is it just kind of almost like an adjustment to see just how money has just consumes every decision? But the staffs are so huge. Um, the rosters are so expensive and the facilities and all that. And I mean, it's just a big business. So you got to make money. But the SEC is being very deliberate. And Greg Sankey's a very deliberate guy. He doesn't like engage in hypotheticals and like predict, which I do respect. We'd like him to. It'd make for headlines and interesting stories, but they want more information. They're like, if we're getting rid of this SEC conference title game, which I know you have an affection for, having played in the first one and had moments. Did you play in two?
No, just one.
Yeah, you played in the first one. It's been good to Florida, particularly for many years. It hasn't lately, but Georgia's been to five straight. Kirby Smart doesn't want that game going away. I mean, it's in his backyard. He's played in five straight. And, he came in when it was again, he was a player when it was like just kind of getting going. So, if you get rid of that game, because you're going to have to in a 2014 playoff, that's $100 million potentially being distributed. Are you going to recoup that in a playoff? Are you going to have enough teams qualify each year that you're going to make that back? No, I think they're confident they're going to make that back on the back end with TV deals, things like that. So that's kind of part of the decision, but they want information on that. And, Scott is very Strickland. I think thinks the 24 makes the most sense because of access, as I pointed out, noting, for example, that, let's go back to 2025 because I know those numbers better. 14 SEC basketball teams, 13 baseball teams out of 16. Football was, I mean, what was it? Was it 5 that year, maybe? It might have been 5 2 years ago. Whatever it was, 4 or 5, it's a small percentage in comparison, but they're different sports too. They're 1 week, 1 week. I mean, only 12 games. It's just different. So, and it's harder on your body. And do they want to play all those games? Trev Alberts from Texas A&M was the most impressive guy I spoke with all week, along with Scott. Scott ended the room well. And he's just like, look, man, he played 20 games in 1995 in the NFL when the Colts made that run with Harbaugh, right? Captain comeback that year to the AFC title game against the Steelers. And he's like, man, that was hard. And that's like almost 2 seasons. And you're going to be putting players through that. And they're 20. They're not, men yet.
Edgar, Andy wants to know on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mellon. What was your take on Summerall's discussions on having 2 jobs? Was he taking responsibility for Tulane's bad loss in the playoffs? I don't think they had a chance in the playoffs. They already got clobbered once by Ole Miss. Kind of knew what was coming, but he was pretty candid about it, right?
Yeah, I'll keep this answer shorter. Um, yeah, I mean, he didn't talk about the loss, but he just talked about the challenges of 2 recruiting classes, managing 2 programs, 2 sets of players, or trying to get to know one and saying goodbye to another, managing 2 phones, talking about 2 hours of sleep, right? I mean, he said he was sleeping like 2 hours. The phone would ring. He'd be like, is that Florida or Tulane? Or is it my wife? I mean, he just said it was just, as he said, a blank show. I don't know that we can use this is a family program. So he was funny, very engaging, as he always is. And again, a lot of the media guys like Pat Forty and some of these guys I've known forever are like, man, you got a good one to cover now. Because Billy was pretty reluctant to say much. I mean, Billy wasn't brimming over with personality. He was a little bit monotone and all that. And I mean, he had a clever line occasionally, and he was smart and laid things out. But Summerall's a soundbite, man, and he's very, very charismatic. And it's a breath of fresh air for writers out there who, I always use the line, I vote for quotes, and John Summerall provides those.
He does. I love listening to him speak to the media. I brought this up the other day after I saw clips from his presser and meeting with the media in Destin. He had a black quarter zip on. Like, oh Lord, these people are going to go nuts with him wearing black. But that's just me. I noticed stuff like that. You know how many people complained about Billy wearing black?
Oh yeah, I was. One of my friends, every time he would come out in black, I'd get a text.
Yeah. So I want to say the ADs all voted for 24 games. Is that correct? And I think Coach Summerall said he wanted 24 in the playoff. Correct?
I mean, did they all? Well, I don't know that they all voted for. I mean,
I should
look,
say this. I saw their votes, and I don't know if, again, you can't believe
where did that come from?
There was I shouldn't say every one of them. Majority of the ADs at the SEC meeting, the most votes went for the 24 teams.
I think they want 24 because again, they want access, they want another revenue stream. And forgive my ignorance, I mean, that was not discussed in a meeting with Sankey. And there's AD here, there's an AD there, and who said what? I mean, I got a handful of them, and you miss some, and sometimes you're off writing and miss some. So if someone said every AD voted, I didn't hear that.
Not every one of them did. I phrased that incorrectly. They took a vote, I guess, for 12, 16, 20, and 24. 24 had majority of the vote. Not all of them, but majority, the most.
And that doesn't surprise me. Sankey wants 16, I think, is where he sits. But there are problems with 16. One reason I like 16, there are problems with all of them, but one reason I like 16 is everyone just plays.
Yeah, I don't think they need any buys.
I like how, and considering the bye teams 1 and 7 after 2 years,
yeah,
it might be a good way to go.
George on the Titan Mar text line wants to know your thoughts on Coach Summerall talking about how the Gators need more money.
Yeah, he brought that up, but I didn't really get into that too heavily just because, everyone does though.
Mm-hmm.
Kirby admitted his roster was more than 40 million bucks.
Yeah.
And I didn't think it was quite that much. Last year was 40 million.
All right, so Edgar, I wanted to ask you, did Coach Summerall, I didn't see his whole interview, but we got people who are asking about the quarterback situation. I don't even know if that came up at these SEC meetings. Nothing about players, correct?
No.
Okay.
No, he and I sat down though. I dug in on a story just on kind of his personality and kind of the tour that he's been on, connecting with fans and how he goes about that and why he is that way, right? The guy's done like 50 interviews during the spring, and he also talked about how he's been like a class president since he was in the 8th grade and always a team captain. And just like he's like, I'm comfortable in leadership. I'm comfortable being out in front of people, and I'm not vain, but I'm comfortable in leadership. And I thought it was kind of a fun story to tell, and just about how he's kind of wired.
Yeah, like I said, I don't. I think he's made all the right moves so far.
But then he said, yes, but I haven't lost a game yet. And believe it or not, I will lose a game at Florida.
Very, very true. All right, the Gators crank up today. I know you do a lot of stories on men's golf. We talk a lot of golf on this program. I talked to Coach Deacon on the program Monday, I believe, played golf with him this weekend. I think it's the best team from top to bottom. He agreed that he's had. You think they can win it all this week?
I do. Look what they did at Columbus. They played a very tough golf course and won by 24 strokes. 5 guys finished in the top 11. I think they like the tougher the tests, the better they play. I don't know that this course is going to be playing like that course. The weather was bad there. A lot of wind, and then the last day was rain and wind. But they are deep, man. When you look at this team, I wrote a story on Parker Sands earlier in the week. He's the number 5 guy, right? Mm-hmm. And they're leaving home a guy who played in the Masters and US Open 2025, Noah Kent, a guy who sank the winning putt at the East Lake Cup, Parker Bell, not Sands.
I think Parker Bell's making the trip though.
He'll be the alternate.
He's the
And
alternate.
then you are leaving back that Taylor Gachowski or whatever. He won the US Am.
Yeah.
Then you're leaving behind Joshua Bai, the big recruit from New Zealand. He was a US Am runner-up. The US Junior Am, excuse me. The US Junior Am is like the most elite event below the US Am for an amateur golfer. I mean, he's just leaving guys home that are just like they would be welcome on almost any roster in the NCAA tournament. Now, maybe not Texas, Auburn, a couple others, but maybe Auburn. Auburn, I don't know, is it quite as deep? They're not as deep as Florida, even though they're number one. They got the best player, Jackson Coyven. But yeah, it's just they are deep, man, and they're good in match play. We saw them get to the final in SEC this year, and they won it, I think, last year, right? And they have holdovers from that team. I think 4 holdovers from that'll be here or there, excuse me, in California. So they have 4 guys who won the SEC match play last year, and they made it to the final this year. They didn't really show up in the final this year. It's kind of a bad day, but they're good at match play. They're, 24 strokes in stroke play at Columbus. This team is going to make, if it doesn't get to at least the semifinals, it would be a shocker to me and a disappointment, really.
I agree. Should be a good one. And good luck to them and to baseball. Edgar, time goes by fast, my friend. Let everybody know they can follow you on Twitter and read your stuff in the Orlando Sentinel.
Well, I mean, it all posts on OS Gators via a robot. So, yeah, I tell you the Summerall story, people might get a little glimpse behind the curtain on just kind of what makes the guy. And he was generous enough to give his time. The other thing, real quick, Shane, is that we talked to Todd about the Big Three coming back. I wrote a story on that, and it was, it didn't have great insight, but Todd was fantastic as always. We're very lucky right now to have John Summerall and Todd Golden filling our recorders and notebooks. So
no doubt about it. Edgar, have a good weekend, my friend, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, man.
That's Edgar Thompson from the Orlando Sentinel. Join us on the Titan More Hotline. Castaway Hot Sauce. Try their signature ball kicker hot sauce inspired by the HBC Steve Spurrier and his famous kick in 1966. Again, thanks to Edgar and JC. Have a great weekend. We'll recap it all on Monday. Take care.